Hey everybody. Hey now. Here we go. We've got the Sodaron stream going, which is if you're new here, when I do my content, I do the Twitch stream and then I put it on YouTube, right? So there's two mediums I'm doing of it. And I've kind of not really paid attention to the Twitch side of it very much. And so I'm going to start focusing more on the Twitch aspect of it, promoting the Twitch channel. So, any of you out there, in case I forget, please tell your friends about the Sodaron Twitch channel. Is it Sodaron, Sodaron? I first said Sodaron when I came up with this name, which was like 20 years ago, right? But most people tend to say Sodaron, so that's cool. Whatever, Sodaron. People remember it. It's really easy to remember Sodaron. Most people drink soda, so it's kind of like I'm I shake people up like a can of soda and then just like watch them explode on their own type of thing. So that's like the Sodaron way of trolling people online, we'll say. So, anyways, why we're here today is we're doing FNATIC versus G2 VOD review. So, um, yeah, the last one I did was XL, and if you're new here at the channel as well, I started this last year. This is something I should have done years ago. And I've been told for years, like I should get a webcam and make content, and I just kept putting it off and putting it off. And then COVID happened, and then all these people were trapped in their houses during COVID, and then their kids were trapped there, and now everyone's working from home. So I should have got a webcam years ago because I would already have a job in this and probably be making a little bit of money. I'd be able to like go buy groceries without using coupons, right? So I should have done that, but regardless, here I am today doing it. So we're on to the second VOD review. I doubt I'll have any chat, right? I was lucky and had some of my mini followers the last time. My mini Sodaron followers out there, which please, all of you out there, followers, please tell your family and friends and anyone else you know about the Sodaron channel so we can have more friends and followers. All right, please? So, anyways, back to why we're here. We're doing the VOD review today of FNATIC versus G2. I'm getting a little bit more comfortable with my own channel now, so now I can slow it down. I had this problem where I felt like I was in this hurry where any dead air or dead space you see me not talking or not doing anything, you're going to quickly turn away and not want to hear or see what I'm doing. And I'm learning that for some odd reason, I don't know what it is. I mean, it is amazing in life, like some of the people that like a lot of people follow, it just amazes you, right? Like I'm not gonna put him down or anything, but like Double Lift, right? Like, isn't it kind of amazing that that guy ended up being the one that like millions of people follow and NA, and then those people probably have kids, and then their kids grew up and they like Double Lift too, type of thing. So I'm just saying, like, isn't it kind of funny that usually it ends up being like the dumbest people that you know end up being the ones with the platforms that have the millions of listeners or fans that people follow and listen to? Isn't it kind of funny and ironic that's how life works out? But that's how it works out, right? So, but I am kind of an idiot, so I'm sorry. You got to listen to my voice and listen to the things I say. So, I guess a select few of you out there are brave enough to listen to this idiot. So here we go. Please help me with the Sodaron channel, and we will get this idiot up off the ground, and we'll get this idiot shining, I guess, from sea to shining sea, or however it goes. I don't know. I think I like to make quick, witty jokes, and then they're usually really bad, but I think they're funny. So they make me laugh, so I say them. I like to crack myself up. That's one thing I like to do is I like to make myself laugh and make life entertaining. I'm not a troll. A lot of people out there in the LOL esports world on Twitter and think I'm a random troll that types things just to make people mad, but I don't. I have a rhyme and reason to it. I am a fan from 10 years of watching all of this, right? So I've watched it from the beginning. I'm not the historian, but I was a history major in college. History was my best subject, or not my. It was tied for. It wasn't my best. History was tied with many other subjects I took, and it just happened to be one of the ones I'm good at, along with English and many other subjects I don't need to tell you about. But I was good at many of them, right? I don't need to tell you what ones, but many of them. But anyways, English and history. But my point is there's this guy named he labeled himself the esports historian. So I'm not that. I'm not gonna label myself the. I'm not gonna make a career off. I'm Sodaron, the esports historian. That's not me. That's I think his name's Duncan or Thorin or whatever. Thorin, the esports historian. That's what it is. Yeah. Uh, Thorin, the esports historian. That's not me. I am old. I am a lot older than what I come off as, but yeah. I was just gonna say, I was really good at history. I took college history. It was one of my best subjects. I like history. I like to read about history. So I am just saying, for 10 years, I too, I am not the historian, but I've been or fancied myself some of a historian type person and paying attention to the history and helping write the books out there. You know, most of you younger people think there's just one book out there. It's Wikipedia or Google or Liquipedia or what's the other one? Fandom. But I've heard the guy say it in his content. Like, yeah, he was like Thorin, for example. He was the guy like writing that book. Like, that's a copy of the stuff that he was putting out there. That's all those websites are. It's not the gospel. It's not written in stone. People do create it and come up with it. So all of this stuff, um, the internet doesn't write itself. Basically, kids, is what I'm trying to point out. Right? You can get up and help write it and create it every day if you want to be part of it, or you can help destroy it. Whatever you want to do. So, anyways, there's Sodaron's 10-minute segment. It says it's been 8 minutes now. So we did a 10-minute intro off the cuff thing, you know, like Fallon and Leno. Did they even do it off the cuff? They normally had some type of writer, right? I did this off the top of my head. Isn't that amazing? So, anyways, I'm bringing you here. I rallied everyone here watching this. I'm out promoting this, that this is a VOD review of FNATIC versus G2. And I'm thinking about maybe I'll get recruited to the G2 army. Who knows? Like, maybe I'll go sign up. I don't know. There's a lot of promoters out there, I think, or recruiters. Or it's pretty big. But who knows? I'm thinking about it. I've never put thought into liking G2 or helping support or follow G2. I've never done it, never put thought into it. This is the first time. Again, historian guy, I watched this guy named Ocelot play. I remember Oriana mid a lot. So I did watch the guy play. It was it SK Gaming he was on? Is that it? Did I get a bingo? Anyways, I remember this guy named Ocelot that was a mid laner, and he started this team called Gamers 2. And now it's called the G2 Army, and it's on, I saw a picture today. It's like on bandanas and underwear and hats and cell phone cases and mouse pads. And I'd like to have a pair. I like Crocs. Can I get a G2 pair of Crocs, please? That would be nice. Or a robe. I like to wear robes. You know, a G2 Army robe, that would be cool. I'm sure they're out there if I look. I bet if I go Google this, there's something like that out there. But anyways, that's cool to know there's a team like that out there, and there's a fan base out there with that much support. I really didn't know or see how much support there was in the G2 Army. It's something that's new to me, and it shows me that, wow, this team is very loved. Um, so it makes you want to be part of it, to have a fan base like that. I don't think I can think, blah. I can't recall a team having a fan base like that. Like, I saw pictures of a player's dad that like drives. There's like a bus, or you take bands around, or what? Like, that's amazing. So that's really cool. That would make me want to be a fan of that team. That you actually put like public things on and for kids and give kids things to do that aren't out like partying in bars and doing crazy stuff. I mean, maybe you're doing that afterwards, but there's some type of responsibility to it, and I like that. So that's cool. I Yeah. So anyways, we're here for Fnatic versus G2. Been doing a lot of LEC watching here. If well, I guess you don't, but some of you know me, but not very many, because I'm not that. I don't tell the world everything I'm doing, and that's, I guess, what I'm doing this year, because I've got a pretty weird life where I am dedicated to this sport of League of Legends esports, and my entire life pretty much revolves around it. So isn't that exciting? So, anyways, that means that I'm watching all the regions that I can, right? So, I'm watching LEC and LCK and LCS. And I was watching LPL, but after they went on their lunar break, I haven't had time. I don't know if I'll have time to watch anymore or not. It might just be when they show up at the international tournaments that I get time. Who knows? Everyone has limited time, right? So let me describe my day. I've been up since 11, or no, I got up at like 10:30 this morning. I slept in, and it's now 4:30. And as soon as I got up around 10:30, 11, I started working on League of Legends stuff and watching LEC all day, and here we are now. Now, I had been working on this VOD review for a while, but I'm kind of shy. It takes me quite a while to put these out. I'm worried too about the content and how I do it and how it comes off to you. And again, I kind of went into this yesterday where I'm learning from Riot is like, and I wasn't making fun of Riot, I wasn't bashing Riot, but they like kind of hit you over the head with content where I've got so much content, I don't know where to begin. Like, me, I like to watch good content, so I start filtering out, well, what's bad? What do I think is bad content, right? So I could go and name regions right now, but I'm not, I'm not gonna give you that. I'm not here to put people down or. And I'm kidding. I was making a joke because I personally don't think that way. I like all of the regions. I value and see some type of thing out of all of them that are unique in their own way, even if some of them win more often than the others. There's still always some unique thing to find. So that was kind of making like a joke because I don't put these things down. I've said it in my past content. Like, I'm a sports fan. I like the NFL. Well, I've had favorite football teams for years, whatever. But in general, I don't think like the one way of, well, my football team is that and that's the end of it. I like to watch all the football teams. Or when I watch a football game, there's two teams out there. Like, there's the losing team that's gonna go and have a horrible day and go through all of this and have to pack it all up and talk to each other at the end of the day when they're all done with the sport and they lost, and travel home together. That's the thing about sports is when you lose, you're with the team, and then you have to travel. You win and you're together, get the party, but when you lose, you're together too, and you have to travel home together. And so, you can either like sit there on the bus like this, sad, right? Or like just be like, well, we lost, and talk about it as a team and figure out, well, we lost, but let's learn from my mistake. what did you do wrong? And then somebody speaks up, I did this wrong, blah blah blah, and interaction and stuff. So to have a team like that, that would be nice. I'm guessing I saw G2 lost today. I'm guessing G2 is a team where they're not going home like this. Man, almost won it. Right? Like I'm thinking G2 is a team that they lost. Just shrug it off. It happens. Let's learn from what we did wrong instead of being upset about it and being angry, and drop the anger and learn from our mistakes. And then we'll not make these mistakes the next time, and we'll carry on and we'll keep winning and win more often, type thing, right? Or you can just pout, be mad, upset, and not have any better days. Anyways, that's the 20-minute Sodaron segment there, off the cuff, and the next level. I was gonna make a show, working on a show, something the next level, and then you come out and tell the public, and then it's, this was like months ago, da da da, and then you tell people, and then you see on like TV or something, in this case it'd be like TV. I don't even watch TV, but like I'm just like flipping through the channels, and all of a sudden there's a commercial for the next level, like I don't know, like Skip Bayless or whatever, the next level, and then just because I said it online type thing. I don't think that's going to happen in this situation. And that actually is that's a scenario that keeps a lot of people from saying things that they probably need to say in their life to advance their life to get to the next level they want to go to. But they're holding it back, right? Because they're embarrassed to say it or whatever. So something like that. This is something I'm just saying, like the next level. It's a show, an idea. I've been kind of flipping it around, talking to others with it and stuff. And see, like a lot of people, they got the show, they can't come up with the name. Now I got the name. That's the type of person I am. I got the name. Now what do I do? Like the online persona. Like I've always had the name Sodaron. Great online persona name. Now what do I do with it? It took me like many years to figure that out. But it took me many years, and I'll give you a little secret here that took me many years to figure out. It's a brand. Sell your brand. But that's enough said on that one, because others might slap me on the wrist for saying a comment like that. But it's your brand. Sell your own brand. Make a brand and sell your own brand the rest of your life, and you'll have a good, comfortable life. Make it a good brand, though. But others will slap me on the wrist for telling you all that, but that's their little secret. Right? So anyways, on to this brand of the LEC 2023 LEC Winter. I don't know what exactly it's called here. I should Google it, right? The EMMA, or they did this really cool format change, which I haven't even looked at yet. I just heard best of threes, and I didn't even look into it anymore. You got me sold on best of threes, because I've been saying for years, Riot, you're gonna tell me. You're gonna literally look me in the eye and tell me this, that you can't figure out why the LCS isn't as good as the LCK or the LPL. You're literally gonna tell me that. You can't figure it out. Or as like Monte Cristo says, I'm not, this is his thing he made up, the skill vampires. Now that's a hilarious thing. Skill vampires. You come to NA, you come to Los Angeles, and you go to bed, and the skill vampires haunt you at night in your dreams, and you wake up the next day and you can't win solo queue games anymore. You can't win games on the big stage anymore because of the skill vampires. Right? That's what Riot's basically saying. That's the joke Monty's saying, kids. That's basically how Riot treats us adults that aren't your age, that are a little bit older, that spend our hard-earned money on their Riot points. Like, that's kind of how they put it to us, right? That's why the LCS isn't as good, because when the Korean players come over here and sleep at night in LA, the skill vampires suck away all of their skills and talents while they're dreaming at night. So that was I got to give it to him, Monty. That's a hilarious analogy or example or metaphor. Or those are the ways I think kids are metaphors and analogies and examples. I don't take things I read on the internet so serious. They could be metaphors or examples. But anyways, but the point I was saying is you got a best of 3 format. That's why I've liked the LCK all along, is the best of 3 format. I mean, it's like solo queue. I play one game and that doesn't prove anything to me. I've got 154 characters to pick from. I lose one game, I'm ready to play the next one and to show you something else and not lose. I don't know. So best of 1, like, to me, doesn't really prove anything. It's like flipping a coin. Now, that's what fans in the LEC like or have said they've liked. And especially the LCS fans have. Now, you guys are going to be mad at me for what I say, but you've done nothing to show your support to help change the format at all in the LCS. All you do is go and complain online, but you don't go complain to Riot or actually try to change something. You just go and complain on Twitter and stuff or on Reddit. My friend slapped me on the wrist for calling Reddit the devil in my last VOD, so I have to take it back. Now, I've never read Reddit, and I will say I was in the Summoning Insight thing the other day, right? And I made a thing about Upset, and I'm going to make a point about this because there's something that I don't know about his wife that I don't care about personally or need to know personally. Now, somebody like banned me in a chat for I was making a joke, which wasn't right of me. Be like, hey, does Upset have an attractive wife? I don't know. Really, I don't care. I was just asking what the chat said. I wanted to hear what they said. And all it did was provoke something. Now, I'm serious about this. I do not have a Reddit account. I do not like Reddit, and I don't care about Reddit. Now, there's something about on Reddit, there's some things about his wife or something that I don't care about or need to know about because it's a video game. So it's the last thing I need to know about. So when I'm in a chat talking about a video game and a professional player, that's the last thing I'm bringing involved into that. So people that literally think like that and go to ban somebody like that, you shouldn't be a moderator or you shouldn't even be involved in esports. If you're going to go and bring up some dirty, nasty story about some guy's wife that has nothing to do with him being at Worlds or being a professional player, that type of stuff really pisses me off. And I don't cuss on my content, but I take this stuff serious when it comes to the esports stuff. So when you're like bashing somebody's career like that or personally attacking somebody's wife, I actually am really pissed off about it because I don't think that way. I wasn't going to say something nasty about a guy's wife. I was trying to make and brag about it. But somebody banned me and jumped the gun and trying to jump the gun about I'm going to say something about something on Reddit that I don't know about the guy or need to know about or care about. That's what pisses me off. People trying to put negative things in people's mouths or minds or trying to put blame on somebody else for things that they didn't do. I have a problem with that. That's a big thing about the internet. So, maybe don't jump the gun on things like that, you know? Maybe you should be worried more about the content if you're a moderator on a channel and worry about the show and the content they're putting out instead of your own personal satisfaction and need and comeuppance in the world, right? Right? Like you're supposed to be doing your job, but your own personal thing gets in the way of it. But whatever, you'll probably be stuck being a moderator the rest of your life, you know? And I've learned that Sodaron doesn't need to come be in chats. Like, he just needs to be on camera, because apparently I come and talk and people get pissed off all of a sudden. Is it jealousy? I don't know. Like, I'm just being myself. But I go in a chat and I'm just myself, and then I've got people telling me that I'm wrong for being myself, or the way I think, or that's... So, but I know I'm not wrong, because I don't go out of my way, like, trying to tell people what they should be or do or how to think or whatever. I give opinions, but I'm not telling people, hey, this is how you are supposed to think, or this is how you are supposed to react, or this is what you're supposed to do. I just throw my things out there and see how you react to it. I'm not supposed to be in control of people. But anyways, here we go. On to G2 versus FNATIC. Now, the next time on the Sodaron show is, can he make it over the hill without ranting or trying to bash about 20 things at one time? I don't know. But that was one thing that upset me quite a lot, was somebody got upset at me in a chat on Twitch and banned me for asking a question that, and I even like sent it back on my Twitter. I can show screenshots of it on my phone. How is this this is an offensive question. Does he have an attractive wife? Question mark. That's offensive, asking somebody if they have an attractive wife. Apparently, if they're offended by somebody asking them that, they don't have an attractive wife and they shouldn't be married. Period. If you're married to a woman you can't stand, then what the hell are you doing in a marriage with her? Don't take it out on the internet. Leave her. It's that easy. You want to carry all that around? That's what's funny about League of Legends, is that's all they do, is just characters carrying things around. It's got like carrying around 30,000 gold, team. Is that enough? Is that, like, that's literally what League of Legends is. It's literally like, all right, team, I'm carrying 30,000 gold. Is that enough? And then you got some guy like over there that has like 500, like crying that you have all of it or something, and they can't carry that much. That's literally all League of Legends is. Anyways, on to G2 and FNATIC. So, let me go ahead and get some commentators in here, because I've talked for 30 minutes. My voice is starting to run out.
A lot of premier options left on the table. Reckless is Varus going to get banned away.
I almost made myself laugh on camera, which you're not allowed to do as an actor.
Really, it's more about Mickey.
I think that's like the one rule of acting.
Will either one be able to exploit the
and then if you can make others laugh, they don't like
that. Just limiting champion pools, and you
they
can
like
clearly see when it
not
comes
when
to
you can
draft
randomly
game,
do it when they can't predict
4 bans already. FNATIC.
Yumi. First pick.
Yumi.
For FNATIC. I think Reckless will find comfort here in Sivir. I wonder if G2 take away the Zeri and go for something like the Lulu. Very similar situation to, I believe it was
they first picked Yumi, FNATIC
Yumi, Lulu are up, and Zeri.
And so I think
Zeri, then they'll take Lulu.
G2 is going to come up with what they...
They're going Draven, they're going melee support, I imagine, and they're going to
I'm going to restart this again, because I did...
FNATIC need to be very careful. I think they're
I try to be professional. I mean, I'm not yet. I don't get paid, so... I mean, I kind of did last summer, technically. Like, if you count, like, PayPal donations, then that makes you professional, right? That's a good question out there, kids. Are you a professional as soon as you make any type of income, even if it's just some minuscule donations off PayPal? Does that make you a professional at coaching or journalism or whatever it is you do? A lot would probably say no to me. But anyways, I prepared this thing. It is like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I've literally not had sleep for 18 hours now or something like that. And like, the less sleep you have, the funnier you become. That's why on Saturday Night Live, they stay up for 3 days when they're writing the show every week. Okay. So,
The board
I do write the
very
Sodaron
melting.
show,
It's,
and I did research this
G2
tonight.
For
I
Bay.
got a little sidetracked. I'm having fun with being myself. Imagine that.
Debut.
Okay, so this season I'm gonna try and do G2 VOD reviews. So here we have FNATIC versus G2 now. And I try to like keep this organized because the further I'm gonna get into this year, the more difficult it is to be able to go through all of this stuff with you, right? So it is important that this is, first off, we're on patch 13.1, right? But this is week 1, day 2. I did the XL game, which G2 won, and they probably win this game, right? Anyways, so this I can be serious now. I'll stop being a comedian and be a coach and analyst and all that. XL versus G2, G2 versus Strawless. I do have to do G2 versus Strawless as well. Okay, trying to get myself together here, getting a little tired, need a little bit more caffeine. Might have to do a cup of coffee, drinking tea. Look, this was like a 24-minute game. G2 brought out Viego, which I think this might be the first game of Viego I've seen this year. If not, it was Way and RNG played one already, but I can't remember. See, you start watching this all the time. It sounds crazy, but the games really do start to blur together where you literally you watch so many games that like you have to go look at a piece of paper and go, "Oh yeah, now I remember watching that." And that's literally what it's like because it burns your brain out from watching all this. I'm way over the allotted. I'm supposed to only work on it 8 hours a day, and I'm way over that. All right, so this is just by my own doing. I'm fine working more than 8 hours a day personally, right? It's cool with me. Others don't want to work more than 8 hours a day. Let them have it. They want to live off 8 hours a day, living and have a comfortable life. So be it. Me, I had a hardworking dad. He did work himself to death, and he's not here anymore. So maybe it's not good to work yourself to death. But, and my mom, but she's still here. Anyways, my point is like, I'm from a hardworking family, so I just work. I don't know, like, I don't have an off or a stop or whatever. I just like to, if it's a profession or something you enjoy, you like to do it, like professional gamers or kids that are really into grinding League of Legends. It's addicting, right? You can't stop it. Anyways, so yeah, I see, like I could make this like a 5-hour thing every time if I want. And I'm realizing I guess Sodaron can do a show. Guess I just need to do the Sodaron show. See, the trick of the Sodaron show was we only wanted to do like 30 minutes a week. Now that's challenging for me. That's a challenge. You ask me to do like a 20-hour show, no problem. But a half-hour long show, now we've got problems. But that's what I wanted. I wanted to do a half-hour long show called The Next Level with Sodaron because I like Gordon Ramsay and he has Next Level Chef, and I didn't steal the name from that, but it did inspire it. Go figure, right? Just like all the words and all the other books inspire all of the other books written afterwards, or the Bible, whatever. I'm not saying religion or whatever, but I'm just saying book. If you read history and school and all over, I got a quickly steer out of this. I'm like paddling this boat so hard to get out of this one, right? But like books. The reason I said Bible, again, that is the first printed book in history of man as far as we know, right? So that was the first printed book we were told, right? So that was the inspiration for all of the books to come after, right? Like to read the books today, that one had to be written, and then people read that book, and then they read that book, and then they wrote another book inspired by that book, and then that book was inspired, and so on and so forth, right? And just on and on and on. Now, my mind is crazy and can kind of see that far ahead, which is not fun, so don't ever go that way, whatever. But I'm just saying, and it probably didn't start that way, but hey, just a thought, right? Had to start somehow. But the point is books and written word. And it all had some type of starting point. Supposedly that there was one book, and then from that one book came, everyone can say Bible, like, what was the second book printed? Anyone know? Yearbook? Joke book? Maybe it was a crossword puzzle. Maybe it was a search word book. I'm always playing the crowd. Any laughter in here? Anyways, that was a really wild tangent about books and printed books, which is where they say knowledge and information came from, the written word, and became books and all that. Anyways, I'm not here to teach history, and we're only talking about League of Legends. Now, isn't that crazy to go from League of Legends to some book that people don't even like saying that word and all that, and you don't want to go into that tangent. We're just talking about video games here, folks. That's it. Just League of Legends. LOL esports. That's what's great about this thing, right? So anyways, we have week 1, day 2, LEC Winter, FNATIC versus G2. And so we're going to go ahead and get this thing started. I'm going to let the commentators talk for a while.
Now going up against Razor, who was hands down the best individual performer, I think, in that FNATIC.
And I had some thoughts on Viego.
See if you can replicate that same
FNATIC
success on stage.
Forget
again.
how Viego works in team fights. That was one of my general questions. I ask funny questions, right? I never know how to say them. Do I want to be professional? Or do I want to be funny?
I think he is. I think he's absolutely fine playing something like a Sejuani.
But that was a general thought I have is, hey,
the champions are just so powerful.
did FNATIC forget how Viego works in
and
team
it pairs
fights?
so well with a lot of champions in the meta
It
right
looked
now.
that
Jax,
way.
Renekton with a Sejuani, Fiora, Camille, whatever it may be.
Now, originally, when I wrote that, I didn't write
every mid laner,
funny.
things like
I
Ari and
just
Syndra
delivered it
benefit
to
from
you
the
that way.
CC that he
Funny,
can provide.
It was
But jungle and bot
it's
lane,
a
I think, is the
question
most important
that
right now.
Viego hasn't been shown this year. I can go back to my professional side now, right? I can turn the funny off.
We always see junglers do something like 3 camps into invade or 1 camp into level 2 games.
We haven't seen Viego yet in
like
LEC.
style.
And then again, where do you want me to take this conversation? Are we talking about LEC? Or are we talking about LCK and LEC?
I really wonder what FNATIC have got prepared
all of them together, because that's what I'm trying to do is like combine them all into one big giant fish bowl called the
range
LOL
support's being taken away. They're going to ban Yumi as well. I wonder. Rise is open.
What else do they want to take off the board? A lot of premier options left on the table. Reckless
Anyways,
is going to get banned away.
We get Worlds and MSI. That's what I was.
And Reckless have a bit of history together, but really it's more about Mickey and
so
Reckless.
FNATIC ban, Heimerdinger, Lucian.
One be able to exploit the habits of the other. For now,
one thing I've noticed with Heimerdinger was in my stuff again last year at Worlds, I didn't go. That was another thing of Sodaron in the story, and I don't really care to go into it right now, but is what did Sodaron do last summer after he stopped doing VOD reviews? Who knows? I went and became a part-time stripper, all right? I had to pay my rent money, and that's where I went, and that's where I've been, and I was really bad at it, and here I am. I learned to do a second chance at this, and so I'm gonna give it a real go now. So that's what happened. Anyways, I did this study last summer at Worlds, or it was in the fall where I was studying the support items. It's stupid. It was like I was looking at League of Legends like a scientist. And I did my own study for a team or whatever I was doing. And I spent many hours and days on it. And it was during DRX when they were doing the thing in Mexico. It was during that time. But it was just paying attention. There were 3 studies I had, or no, 2 studies I had all year last year. The objective timings, where I took a little book and I wrote down, which people tell me is so stupid and irrelevant, but I think it is important. Books of the objective timings of when in the LPL, the LEC. I threw the books away. Should have kept them and showed you. But anyways, I had this epiphany last year where I went in and like just threw everything away, right? In my life. It's like, it's going to start all over again. Because I had like 6-7 years of like League of Legends stuff I was working on just as a fan, not getting paid or making money or anything. So I'm just a loser. Why would I waste my time on that? So like I just threw it all away. But I made these books where I did an actual study where I took the objective timings from every region and every game I'd watch, and I'd take this little book and be like, oh, well, Mad Lions got the dragon at 8 minutes, Dragon 1. And then Dragon 2 at, and then it's like 5 minutes after Dragon 8 minutes, Dragon 2 spawns or whatever, and the team or whatever. And I did this little research of like, well, when do they get the dragons, or what teams like to get the dragons, or what, which sounds crazy, but I did it. And it actually did serve as some useful information. And it wasn't that crazy, and it didn't take that much more time. It was something extra I added when I'm analyzing these games and stuff. And actually, it's something I point out now that like I probably shouldn't even be showing on this video, but I'm trying to show a couple teams here. Like there's a couple things that I figured out at Worlds last year. I can go in my slides and show you these documents and stuff of pages of going on about the support item and getting it as early as possible, and how that's a huge advantage to get the support item evolved as soon as you can. And I saw G2 get it at 6 minutes and 30 seconds already, so I'm already got like G2 figured out. But I see G2 can get it at 6 minutes and 30 seconds with the Eimerdinger. I don't know if that was the whole point. I went on this really long 10-minute rant was about Eimerdinger and how Eimerdinger got the support item evolved at, it might have been the last game I watched with XL versus, I'd have to look. Again, you start watching all these games, they run together. Because there's like 6 games in the LEC, and then you watch LCK, and that's, you got 2 series, but that ends up being 6 games. And just, so you've got like 11 games you watched in one day. And on and on. But anyways, Eimerdinger gets that support item evolved really fast. So now that also brings out to me, is that why they're taking Eimerdinger into LCK? Because he's like the first pick support. Eimerdinger is, and this is again my books, and I haven't made my books yet because I'm not working for a team, or I don't know what I'm going to do. But I had meta books last season where I had a LPL book, and I did the dragon timings and all that stuff. I had an LCK one, LEC, so I did separate books on all of this stuff. I did see differences in the teams and timings and advantages and stuff to exploit. And that's like why it's important, where I believe if you're a coach, like say I'm coaching in the LCK, I still want to try to watch all the other regions, because there's a global, remember how I went on a tangent a minute ago about a fishbowl that we're all in? That's what I'm talking about, is this like global meta we're all in, and we're all going to end up in May and October. And so we're just all kind of mixing and swirling, and that's where we're all going to end up. He stopped talking for a minute. So anyways, moving on. I saw Eimerdinger can get this support item evolved at 6 minutes, which is ridiculous, because next point of why. The earliest I saw it last season was 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Now, a lot of fans out there are pointing their fingers, laughing at old Sodaron. Oh, you're so funny, Sodaron. Oh, you did all this work for 1 minute. That's a huge advantage in pro play. That's like years of an advantage. Because you get my whole thing, if you watch my content, is about vision. And so what does the support item evolve do? Well, it gives you 4 vision wards, which back in the day, League of Legends, the vision, the wards are the most valuable thing in the game. They're the most valuable resource. 75 gold can net you 300 gold. Easy. I mean, especially if you're a jungler or a support. Go put a ward in the enemy jungle. 75 gold. Just walk over, put a control ward in the enemy jungle. You're gonna see the enemy jungler at some point, and that ward is gonna be worth a lot more than it was gold in your inventory or wasted sitting there waiting till your next back for a longsword or whatever, because you get backs where you don't buy wards because you're like, well, I need a longsword and that's 75 out of this 200, and you don't buy anything, whereas you're better off with the ward. But anyways, so the vision's the most important thing, and I did this so you get the support item and you get the 4 wards. I'm trying to tie in, like back in the day in League of Legends, you could buy pink wards, you could buy unlimited wards and place them wherever you want. And vision was my thing, so what did I do? I put wards everywhere, and I won a lot because I had vision all the time. And I try to show teams, I could show teams now just in solo queue, like, hey guys, stop fighting for a minute. Just stop. Just stop. Just stop fighting. But they always want to fight when I'm in solo queue, so they can't stop. They never do stop. They never stop. Like once, just stop for like 10 seconds. Team, just stop. Because if it's not fighting me or a teammate or the enemy team, then it's themselves. So it doesn't stop. Right? But if they would just stop for a few minutes, could change it and make it so much easier. But anyways, I should probably get this thing going. I'm trying to talk about the wards, the vision wards. It's the most important thing. I mean, it's common sense. Like, I'll show you a test right here. Watch. You want to fight me? You want to fight me? Let's fight, right? Okay? Would you fight me right now? You guys want to fight? Who wants to fight me? Why would you want to fight people when it looks like this? This is all I see in solo queue every time. My team wants to fight like this. I don't want to fight like this, ever. Like, Sodaron never wants to take a fight in solo queue, in League of Legends, ever like this. Why? Because you want to fight like this. This is what wards do right here. Now let's fight. Right? Like, now let's fight. And that's the example. That's the example I'm trying to show others in solo queue right there. Like, if I could just get them to stop fighting for a minute, like in chat, whatever, just stop. And I could show them the little, let me turn the lights out and show you guys that you go running off in the jungle. And that's my analogy, is you go fight in the jungle where you can't see. How are you going to win that fight? Whereas you fight in the light, which is where the vision wards are, and you see what you're fighting, you can't lose, or at least you can run away. Like, you go in the dark. You have to assume when you're playing League of Legends, if in solo, just in the game in general, even if you're a pro, like even if you're a pro and you're playing there with pros on a stage, you still you can't assume things. You still have to keep in mind, like, I don't fight in the dark. Why? Because there could be, unless you see on your mini map, if you're in the dark And unless you see all 5 of the other team in the area where it's not dark on the map and you see them, then you're fine. But if you don't, you have to assume that at least one of those people are right there in the dark, and it's probably 2 of them at least. Because that's the thing, like, and it's part of my coaching style. You never need to take one-on-one fights on League of Legends, ever. You can always get the enemy in a 1 versus 2. Always. Very small situation. You can 1 versus 1 or solo kill in lane. But you never need to fight 1 versus 1 in League of Legends, ever. You can always have a teammate back you up. You can always have your jungler there or your mid laner. You never need to take a fight on your own. But like a lot of people, it's just like instinctive in them. They don't get it. Right? And that's like what, if I'm a coach, that's what I'm coaching out of players. I deal with it. Right? Like I have the same problem. I have to deal with it every day. It's just learning to deal with it, learning how to teach others. But anyways, here again, we've went on an hour-long thing now. Is there anybody here? Probably not. They're watching LEC or LCK. We went on an hour-long segment now of ranting. So we're going to go into the VOD review now.
When it comes to draft, this game is about bottom lane.
I don't try to ride the coattails of the cast.
Yumi.
I try to talk.
First pick.
Yumi.
For FNATIC. I think Reckless will find comfort here in Sivir. I wonder if G2 take
But I
away
never
this
know
area
if I'm
and go
like
for something
talking
like
over
Lulu.
them or what.
Very similar situation to, I believe it was game 3.
Yesterday's VOD review
Yumi,
is...
Lulu are up and Zeri. They first pick the Zeri, then they'll take
my
Lulu.
intention
Okay, well,
of this is to be
they're going Draven, they're going
your
melee
friend
support,
watching
imagine,
this on
and they're
your
going
couch.
to dive you.
You're not...
So
that was, I already messed the joke. I already messed my own joke up. I messed it up. I'm just really disappointed in myself. I already said the joke. I was trying to tell you a joke and told you the joke. Like, instead of setting it up. Oh well.
In here expecting Zeri or Sivir. Does he go for Ezreal now, Reckless, to be a bit safer? There's Jax as well, so very volatile bot lane.
So, okay, new season at LEC. This will be my first official Sodaron channel VOD review. VOD reviews. So here's number 2. What did I say? Week 1, day 2, LEC Winter 2023. Hey now. So, we've talked about G2. So now FNATIC. What did FNATIC do this year that's different? I didn't research it. I see Wonder, Resort, Humanoid, Reckles, and Rux. I don't know who Rux is. I could have sworn I can recall a player named Lux from Curse or Curse Academy. The historian side of me. And I know I've heard that name before. But I'm not going to Google it. I'm not going to worry about it. But I've heard the name Rux before. Maybe he spelled it different. But I think I overheard that Rux was a FNATIC Academy. Oh, wait, they don't have that in EU, do they? That was one thing that caught me by surprise last year. Is I sound like a real idiot, but I didn't know EU had EUM Masters Series until last year. That was something new to me. So I am happy with the format change, and for real, not being character, not being funny. I like the format change. It sounds like the EU sponsor or Masters. Again, I'm being a dumb fan that's not taking the time to read or figure out anything. I could go to Google and I could read what EUMA stands for or whatever it is. And I'm just going to be a dumb fan that assumes that it stands for the same thing that the EU Masters was sponsored by. And they came in and became part of it. And they somehow blended the Masters series together with the LEC or something, but they changed the format. Now, see, I haven't looked at the format. I only heard, hey, best of 3s. So I'm already sold in on it because that's a huge change from best of 1s. You know, Best of ones, best of threes. Well, I'll try best of three. Something new. I'll go this way. So the LEC is giving me a new product, so I'm already bought in by it. Which the LEC does a good job at this because they resell the package every year. It seems like there's something new they come up with every year. Now, LCS, I watched a little bit of it. It was just kind of like the same old thing again. Just reselling me the same veterans. So, I mean, that's Hollywood, right? Like, hey, guys out in Hollywood might not like you telling me this, or me telling you this, guys that are in other areas not from NA and Hollywood, but that's what Hollywood does, is they resell you the same old stars over and over and over. That's the thing about Hollywood that I don't like, is I see the same people in movies over my entire life. Like, I've wanted to be an actor. I can talk and pretend to do things, and I'm hilarious. Why can't I do it? Right? Like, but I can't, because they hire the same actors over and over and over and over again, because everything becomes a franchise. So we're on to Double Lift 8 now, or Double Lift 9, and that's fine. I like good franchises too, right? Like, I'm a little, ever since I haven't bought Disney Plus, like, or I've not watched Disney Plus, so once that franchise of Star Wars got to that point, I was kind of like, I'm Star Wars'd out by now. But that's okay, because I've got like more Star Wars. I spent a time in my life where I was actually depressed for years. I almost laughed and messed this up, because this is, you can't, if you're an actor, you can't laugh because then people know you're full of it, right? So I was depressed for years about Star Wars and not having another Star Wars movie to watch, right? Like, because I grew up watching the original Star Wars. I guess that's not the original, right? Like, real nerds out there older than me, because I was born in '86. So I had the original VHS tapes, right? So I didn't have the special edition. Now, I'm going to guess that my regular VHS tapes, which is funny because I just threw them out, and the special edition tapes. And I had a bunch of Disney tapes that were like brand new, and I just threw them right on out in the garbage. I don't need them. I don't need them. Probably worth some money. Garbage to me. What good does it do? Right? So, like Star Wars, for example, I went many years where I loved Star Wars and I didn't have the special edition of Star Wars. I had just regular Star Wars. I didn't have the scene where they're riding up in Tatooine to the cantina and there's a camel-looking elephant thing, whatever, new. I don't know how to describe this stuff, guys. I mean, there's like the I don't know. I don't even know. There's some CGI'd monsters in there, or not monster. Not a monster. Monster's a horrible word, as my voice cracks. Which I will give a plug to this. I'm a big fan of the Munsters, right? Not so much the new Munsters. I really do like the new Munsters movie. I would like to see it as a show, to be honest, or an hour long show. But I'm talking about the original Munsters. Like, if kids out there, you've watched the new Munsters, please go back and watch the old Munsters, because it's a great show, because it was like the first sitcom on TV that I could recall or think about where there was no race and no skin color to worry about, or people get offended. It like broke this barrier back then, right? And so at the time, it was a great sitcom. And it's really good. Go back and watch it. I'm not big on TV and telling people to watch TV, but that's a really good show. So please, if you've not watched it, check it out. Other than that, please check out the Sodaron YouTube channel. That's going to have plenty of content coming out. It's already got plenty of content. You can go watch hours and hours and hours and hours. If you like this face or this voice, there's already hours of it out there. But I mean, it's old, stale, and we'll have new. And eventually, this channel, if you stick to this channel long enough and you help support it, there will be many more things to come with it that won't be League of Legends, because that's really like moving on, right? Like the dream, the goal, or whatever. But anyways, I'm just doing a VOD review. I'm not here promoting my own channel. Why would I promote my own channel on my own VOD, right? Like, why would I do something like that? Wouldn't want anybody to get ahead in life, now would you?
Matchup you have to imagine on 3 coming in.
Difficult situation.
I wouldn't want anybody to go to Discord and be able to promote themselves. I wouldn't want anybody to get famous.
Picking Ezreal, you feel like you just concede a lot of that pressure in the early lane.
So we've got Draven, and that's like the first time. Yeah, I've probably done enough commentary on this one, but here we go. So we got a Rise ban against Humanoid, so he must be really good on Rise.
Fight back. Do they want to contest here a bit?
For G2 to be scared of him.
Duo.
Yeah, you can't
I'm kind of doing this for the G2 army more than I am for FNATIC. I think FNATIC, maybe FNATIC needs coaching. I don't know. I think FNATIC's going to be all right, though. I really think that Wonder, Humanoid, and Reckless are really good carries, and I think all 3 of them are very quiet people and they don't really go out of their way for things. And they'll just at the when they're needed, they'll be there. When it's like time for them to show up, they'll show up. But they seem like carries. I don't really like carry. Like the word carry. Laners? How about just a laner? That's just your role. Carry implies that you're gonna like pull more weight than just one guy on your team, right? So you're implying that not everyone's equal. And that's not good, because on my team, we're all equal. Just because maybe I'm the guy talking doesn't mean I'm better than you. Just because I'm the guy on camera talking doesn't mean I'm smarter than you. Just because I'm the guy on camera talking doesn't mean I'm more famous than you. Just because I'm the guy on camera talking doesn't mean I have a better job than you. It's just my one job, and maybe I'm good at it. And maybe I'm really bad at all the other jobs, and so that's why I'm doing it. But I'm just saying, like, your job and your thing and sticking to it. So anyways, moving on. We've got FNATIC went ahead and drafted. Yeah, we're going to get this game going now. I've went on like an hour and a half long tangent and turned this into this. I might as well title this Sodaron Next Level. But anyways, moving
Go
on.
For it
We've
with
got
Yuumi, right? I mean, Ezreal would
they
be the safe
draft
option. Sivir.
Yuumi and Zeri, which people supposedly cannot stand Yuumi now for some reason. So now I've heard Freak is going to nerf Yumi's auto attack range to melee. Unless it's all hearsay. I don't know. This is all hearsay that I've picked up during the games or on Twitter or something. So, but I did hear it.
Really struggles into Draven. Zeri is just...
I've heard the grumblings from the fans, is what I meant to say.
Such a powerful champ if she can get rolling. Now, what do they pick here, FNATIC? They pick Gragas. Does Wonder go for the Gragas top here into Jax?
I don't know why they picked
Draven.
Draven. That's kind of one of the first
questions. Or
questions
they want to go down a jungle route, you know, something like the Vi into this Draven, get him locked down.
Like I said,
something like the Wukong to disrupt the
is
fight.
this a Diego
as well,
thing?
So they've gone for the jungle route.
I feel like this was a Diego thing
probably going to target out Wonder a little bit to make sure that Broken Blade has a good matchup or take away some of the blinds.
Show off
Draven Nautilus wouldn't surprise me.
Is what I
Any kind of melee support that can get on top of this area to lock her down and play for this Draven. Yike's gonna have to find a jungler here that can assist.
It just complemented Diego very well. It was like a pick comp. It's something that RNG would run.
Not as much as a farming jungler as things like the Graves, but
so
I think that's just such a scary.
This was a 24-minute game. I mean, you can't win it much faster
than that. It is, and I really would be excited to see it as well.
I did a study last year too when I was working with
talking about the potential that this
champion I won't go into.
Really yet to see come to fruition on this stage. So see if it's something that FNATIC either want to take away or G2 want to opt for.
No, it was kind of cool.
Limiting the top pool.
I lost my train of thought on that. I have to let it
come back. Jax and now going to take away some of the counter
picks
of the options of that champion just to make sure that he has the most dominant lane matchup possible. Interestingly, the Vi going to be taken out. With the Nautilus already locked in, there's a lot of parts CC options for this area if she strays too close. It seems like FNATIC does not want to give G2 another one.
Yeah, Vi, a good ban. Nautilus ult is basically undodgeable for Zeri. Add a Vi ult to that. I don't think Reckless is going anywhere in those fights. So, good pick up there. They want to make sure they could get the Nautilus for the lane, though. GP ban coming in, interesting. So I think Wunder, I don't think he'll struggle to find a top lane champ. He can play everything. This Yuumi, maybe it's Wunders, you know? Yeah. Who knows where this Yuumi's going?
So
when you
two
go
top
on your
lane
team.
champions.
I think he'll just pick something like the Gragas. There's the Kassadin ban because I expect FNATIC's playing double AP mid-jungle. Azir is really strong here for either side as well.
What else
so
was I was saying something too about LCK, their priority seems
might
to
have
be
a pick into the Azir. Varus is banned, unfortunately, so no AP Varus. But yeah, with the Kassadin ban, I mean, Syndra's up. He might have responses. Do you take away Azir? Do you pick your jungler?
The debate. Taking the time
and
on this one.
I wanted to get this VOD out sooner. I just watched this game
carry,
where
HLE early on
had Kassadin
and
chat
the fact that they opted
upset
for the jungle
Zeka
here
because he did 9,000 damage on Kassadin.
They've got
really
the counter pick up their sleeve
hilarious.
for whatever Humanoid wants to bring. The Azir, as you called it out, an easy lock-in for the side of FNATIC.
Yeah, I think you can't pick Gragas here. They're going to have way too much AP damage. Renekton would be some kind of easy fallback. Cassante, yeah, anything that can deal with the Jax, that's a good pick up there for FNATIC. I was just going to say, I guess a 24-minute game isn't very good for Azir. A roaming mid, something like a Talia could work to move towards bot side, help out with these Draven lane.
See,
look for dives,
scaling might not be such a thing anymore. And that might be a term that we
will struggle in the early lane phase, as always, into ranged matchups.
That might be a term of the past now, scaling, because the games are only lasting like 20-30 minute window.
Very volatile composition.
So now you don't
they do want to go for the
Rise.
here. Yeah. Ooh, and this is high stakes gameplay. If we
you
go
do, I think like Rada Ages,
these team fights are super hard for them to play out. The Draven easy to lock down, the limited range, the Telegraph axe landing can make it so hard to play against a lot of the champions like the Zeri or the Azir.
Games down
but if
from 40
G2 pull
minutes
ahead
to
in the
30
early
minutes,
game mark, this is going to be
30 minutes to 20 minutes.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where if the Draven
I think
Nautilus
they
gets
want
rolling,
it
they
more
can
like a 30
proxy the
minute
Zeri in between two towers and just start pushing Reckless back. Razork has to come help, but Viego wins 1v1, so in terms of like raw 1v1s or skirmishes, G2 are ahead in that regard.
The study was
to force something. But if the game is just even for 20-25 minutes and G2 don't get dragged,
how
fast
teams close out games, because
FNATIC are in a great spot, so FNATIC holding on, G2 pushing the play
had
forwards.
a game last year where they won,
I suppose, is they don't have much mid push in the early stages, but Yike should win 1v1 against the Sejuani. And after first base, he will be absolutely fine. I think Cap's just coming in, and then once he gets some points in queue, he can start to push
I
back.
did this study where it's just like
top lane will be a bit of a farm fest.
Times down on the
might look for level 2
quickest
ganks.
game
Mid lane,
closed out.
Azir will have to push, but it's bot lane. What's going to happen there? Are they going to
games out faster?
The map? Are they going to try to look for hooks level 1 or all-ins level 1 by flashing forwards like we saw with the Rob on Thresh earlier today?
For me is being able to close a game out as fast as you can. That's something as a coach that I would want to work.
It's always going to be the case, of course, when there's a Draven in the game.
And it's something that I was trying to tell the team I was working with last year about.
And Reckless.
I mean, they were too far in to really understand.
It was a difficult year
like
for
that
both of them. I'm sure they love to take some angst out on the stage.
Out there think, I've got the answer. I'm going to fix this team. I'm going to go tell this team, blah, 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 and that'll fix it. It doesn't work that way. It's saving your time and energy. Because there's way too many things involved that you'll never understand about esports or the business side of it and things, because it's a sport, but it's also a business, so there is business involved with it.
Just kidding. There's a pause. So we'll be in the game shortly.
So we've got a 40-minute pause here.
It's a winter formal, some would say.
Here.
Instead of Ghost.
Okay.
Yeah, we've seen Flash.
And so I did my
Ghost a few times. I guess it's just situational.
System thing on here, which I'm probably way past now. I would like to get caught up. I'm kind of playing from behind right now, which is bothering me. I'd like to get on the actual schedule.
Well, it's a bit quiet in the game. The battle in the stands. Roars from both sides, fan bases.
It's kind of random right now, but I think I've got it figured out.
Are they taking turns or are they fighting at the same time? This is that stuff you can't get in Korea or China, you know what I mean? They take turns.
So I think the last VOD I spoke up and said around the 9:30.
Battle of the Bands, Scott Pilgrim style.
Scott Pilgrim style. Typical. So we'll see if that happens again. They got
side wards.
Some wards here in the river. FNATIC does, and G2 does.
Placed from either side, just covering off level 2 ganks, I have to imagine, or late invades here.
I don't know what you call that wall there.
Stop
we
any
need
kind
to
of
come up with a name for it.
Although if you hug that wall on the left there. Kinda you can get around it into river. Just very minute depending on where the ward is. But anyway, Razork gonna start top side. Looks like Yike will start on red buff.
And I think I pointed out in the LCK, I'm seeing that both sides there normally start the red buff first. So
no ignite.
In the last game, what was it? Was it Wukong? G2 played Astralis. No, G2 played Excel. Excel was blue side, and they started blue buff, right? And then, so G2 was red side, and they started red buff. Sounds stupid, but this stuff does really matter.
Expected
the
cleanse for
coaching
Hansama to get off the exhaust and get off
pro
the
side of it.
So also as expected. I think are they fake leashing
where you
bots?
start.
It's like Hans used mana there. Yeah, they're fake leashing bots, so they're basically saying, Yike, you solo start top side, we'll fake leash bot, we'll arrive into this
Typically
lane with
the red
Draven having an axe in his
seems to be
hands,
like the
which
better
makes it look
start
like he hit
because
blue.
the
They'll say
damage it does on the minion.
He was pathing top, so I need to be careful there.
And so G2 here, obviously, this was one of the first things I brought up on my paper and stuff, is Viego. Did FNATIC forget how to play against... Or Viego, did FNATIC forget how Viego works in team fights? Question mark. Drafted. Engage support. Yeah, so first off, big red flag for G2 is they got a they got a engaged melee support, which you go in my content, you can call me a liar or what you want, but first off, you need to go listen to my stuff first, so you can't call me a liar, because I know that it's in there many times. There's hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of me last summer talking like this. So who knows what I've said. I've probably said some crazy stuff in there. But I know you can't call me a liar because I bring this up.
Just playing with information here, G.
Where I don't like ranged supports. Now, that's kind of into the thing I was talking about too with the support item here, because people were saying, well, ranged supports get the support item first. Yeah. And that's what they would tell me. I would give them all this information about the ranged support items and getting them first and stuff, and all they would say is, ranged supports get them first. That wasn't the point of it, because the point of it is you get the ranged support item, and then you start roaming, and you go and put a little ward in your, like at your red buff or something, and then or at the enemy's blue buff, and then when they come and take the blue buff, it's warded and you steal it from them and you get 2 kills or whatever. That's the type of plays you make, and it's really that simple. Just got to know to do that. And so you get that support item at like 6 minutes and 30 seconds, and then you take off and put a ward or whatever you need to do. But you got a huge advantage. Riot gives you in the support item involving the biggest advantage in the game. Right then. Like, I mean, I guess maybe I need to, I don't want to. I was playing support. I made some support VODs, which you saw last summer, which was the Ornn and the set. And I was showing you that you can carry, and not even a support main could go and carry games. And a lot of it's off the support item you get, right? It's like the strongest thing in the game, or the strongest first item you can get, because that's how valuable the vision wards are. We're not talking control wards. We're talking wards that you plant in the ground that your enemy can't see without sweeper lens. It's the most valuable thing in the game. It's always been to me the most valuable thing in the game, because there was a point that like younger kids playing the game don't understand that you could just go buy as many as you want and put them all over the entire map if you want. And now you got to be limited in about where you put it. And I mean, the options are it's not that difficult to know where it's going to be, but regardless, it's a huge advantage in solo queue and in the games. Huge advantage. Once you get, whoever gets that can control the outcome of the game. Like, take off, you get the support item first, bam, you've got the advantage, take off and start using it. But once you get an advantage like that, you have to take advantage of it. You can't just set on it, and then because you'll lose it, and then it'll be even. The game will be even at that point, and then you'll lose. So when you get an advantage, you have to take it. Just like I'm going to try to get to here, and I've went off on a 20-minute tangent, but on how G2 has the upper hand here because they've got the Ignite on Nautilus. They've got the Cleanse on Draven. You know, and then I'm pretty sure that G2 already pre-planned this, that they knew Viego was going to come down and gank. They knew they would have the pressure in this lane. There's another little secret about this, that teams know what's going on in scrims. Fans out there, like, they pretty much know what the other team's going to do. Like, it's not a surprise to them when they lose or a team pops off on a certain champion, or even if they pull out a certain champion. It's not a shock to them because they've already seen it multiple times, probably in scrims, and just haven't figured out a way to deal with it yet. So it's not a shocker.
Me too. See if the mind game pays off here. Obviously, early trades very much favor.
And that's some of the stuff that I'm really interested in, like the coaching part. Is the players are probably like betting, and maybe there's probably all kinds of crazy stuff going on, or maybe they bet and give wins away. Who knows? I mean, I'm not in control of them. I can't tell them what to do. Like, maybe they're into, I don't know, maybe like Caps is into crazy esports betting and he goes and puts his month's rent on, I don't know, Team Liquid against who was the first team they played? FlyQuest. Maybe like Caps went and spent betted all of his rent money on TL versus FlyQuest and lost it. I don't know. Like, maybe there's crazy stuff like that going on in the game. Who knows?
Draven, those whirling axes,
and then that's like
AD steroid
controls the outcomes of games.
Difficult to deal with. Hook going just a little bit wide there from Mickey. Hansama taking a lot.
Pretty sure these players. I don't know. I don't have firsthand info, and I don't read Reddit, so I can't tell you BS opinions that other people make up, and then you believe it. But like, these players probably do bet money against each other and stuff like that. There's probably like Perks that literally has millions of dollars, and he's literally like, hey, Hansama, I'll bet you $1,000 that you'll lose to me. And they probably literally bet money like that.
Damage here, exchange exhaust now.
Sounds fun to me. Sounds like a good reason to become a LOL professional player.
Going down.
And so into the coaching system here, we've got our first, in my thing, I'm all about these cooldowns. Here's my cooldown timer card. I teach you a little system here. I'm already way too far in this video to even start this system stuff, but like, I've got the cooldown timers here. I didn't get it. I got it. Yeah, I got it in the computer. I made a newer version of it though. But anyways, so my little system here is like, we'll go and look. Rux here just uses exhaust. So we take in at the time at 2:06, Yuumi used their exhaust, and then exhaust has a 3 minute and 30 second cooldown. So then at 5 minutes and 36 seconds into the game, Yuumi will once again have his exhaust. So now from 2 minutes to 5 minutes, we play off in my system, we play off the time. You can't, I was doing this with my finger and you couldn't see what I was doing it. But in my system, we're using the time. We play off the timestamps. And so, like, we know now that Yuumi won't have this exhaust until 5 minutes and 6 seconds. So that means that we can now be very aggressive to lane into a Yuumi, for example. That's just one example of what I mean, is like Yuumi's exhaust is down. So, of course, like in this scenario here, you would want both of these summoners down, but I'm just saying, like, that's an advantage. A lot of people players, whatever, get upset, worry about kills. Like, kills, yeah, but summoner spells are advantages too, guys. Getting a summoner spell out of somebody is an advantage. Don't be down on yourself if you're a jungler and you gank bottom and they're crying to you to come gank, and then you don't kill the enemy, but you get their exhaust down, and then your teammate runs their mouth at you and says you're a bad jungler because you didn't get a kill. They're wrong. You're a good jungler because you got the exhaust out of them. They're bad players, so don't listen to them. It was really their job to get the exhaust out of them or keep track of the exhaust and communicate with you. They're mad that you didn't do their job for them. That's all.
FNATIC very eager to capitalize.
But anyways,
on
we're going to
trade.
trade some summoner spells here.
3 pots, so can shrug off a lot of that damage.
I don't think he really cares about getting chunked out level 1.
If you're support, AD, main, whatever, here's a good example too. I'll go ahead and bring this out. You want to save, if like you're the AD, or you want to save between the AD and support. You get 2 wards starting out bottom lane, right? You're going to need 1 lane to check vision somewhere out in the river area so you don't get ganked within the first 5 minutes or whatever it is on the window, or 3 or anyways, I don't know the refresh times exactly of the wards right off the top of my head and all that. I should, but you know, I could be in game and tell you. But anyways, you got to have 1 between the bottom laner or the support. You got to save 1 of them for this side to have in these brushes. And you need the other one saved for this side over here. Because you will need 1 of those in one of these brushes, because the enemies you're laning into are going to hide in this brush at some point while you're laning. And you're going to not be able to kill them or something, or they're going to be almost dead and then run into this brush and then you die because you don't have the vision to see them. Like, see, you can't kill them in this brush unless you have the vision, because once they go in the brush, then they go dark, and it's where I turn out the lights and you're in the dark again, and then you don't understand. They're hitting and auto attacking you and you're not doing anything. So that's getting baited. But anyways,
knows they can't all in. They don't have Ignite. There's nothing really to be scared of. Reckless hasn't gotten a creep yet. He can't walk up and farm right now. Yike's gonna get level 3 and sprint down here. I think they're gonna dive on the level 1 wave. If G2
and so I go really far
slowly,
into this, and I
don't
prep
let this
really
wave
far
crash
into
into
this
tower.
too.
I think Yike can just.
So like G2 set this up. I think they know they're gonna this. There's a coach out there that says I don't go in enough detail into things. So see if this is enough detail for you. I've already said that G2 picked this comp out, and I'm pretty sure they planned this out in the draft already. They knew with Viego they were going to do this. They knew that they were going to have the pressure in the bottom lane already. So they already know that Viego's clearing his camps and coming down bottom, and they've also got the vision already out here in the river there and in front of the the Elder Lizard camp. I call it the Elder Lizard camp. So I call it the blue Elder Lizard camp and the red Elder Lizard camp, because it starts to get confusing if you're a coach or a player or whatever, and you're talking about red's red buff and blue's blue buff, or blue's red buff, or blue's or red's red buff, or red's blue buff, right? So you got to be like, you know, red's red buff is really red team's top side of the red's Elder Lizard camp. Red team's Elder Lizard camp, which means it's in the top red jungle. Red side top jungle.
Run down, and it's just an instant dive. Let's see if it crashes. I don't think it will. So this is a play that FNATIC need to defend. If Reckless loses this wave, these 2 or 3 waves stacked up.
This is like choreographed. I don't like using like, and I've said it like 8 times in the last 60 seconds. Let me rephrase that. This looked pre-planned from FNATIC, or
The game's basically over. Luckily, Razork's around, but
I don't believe Cathedral's telling everyone if they lose this one wave, the entire game's over. Those are the type of things I don't really like.
Level 2, none of these creeps are low, so I think this is just going to be an instant dive. Yikes hovering around the red. He is spotted. Ward will spot out Razork. I think they're looking for Razork now.
Even just stopping Reckless from CSing, even just committing members here so he cannot farm.
And so at that point, like, gee, there I used like again. If I'm going to use like, please like or subscribe my YouTube channel and my Twitter page. Please follow and please subscribe to my YouTube channel and please follow me on Twitter. Or no, please follow me on Twitch.
Comfortably is disruptive to FNATIC, but if they're able to grab the kills as well.
Nah, there's no way they can dive this.
But FNATIC, or no, G2 didn't know FNATIC's jungler was
3v3 under tower, even though they're level 1. Mickey will just fake it a bit. He'll just keep walking forward to say to Razork, you need to stay here. Because if you base, we're going to dive you. And if Razork does base and Mickey sees it, they are going to dive them. So Razork has to stay. Mickey's just faking pressure here while Yike takes away the Raptors. So G2 are just playing with information. They're threatening plays and pressuring
probably getting mad there because he knows that
Razork's based. I think he could just call Yike down now and say, should we dive on the next wave?
Which
definitely
there again is entitlement, and whose jungle camp is it really? Is it really Razork's jungle camp?
And so much credit to G2 for playing that one patiently. Do not overcommit for the dive. Camp? Waste so much of Razork's time. Giving Yike that small jungle lead is
it
Mickey just continue to trade here. Again, 5 CS lead when all is said and done. See a bit more trading in mid lane. Cap's playing very aggressive in the matchup, but forcing Humanoid to burn through so much of his mana. Luckily, still has a pot, and I imagine should have some cookies coming shortly.
So no dive coming in. Yikes can go to his camps. So all in all,
so this was a very quick
nice
game.
Stacking of waves. What G2 got there was pressure and information.
FNATIC looked bad. That's why I was kind of thinking like maybe this was already pre-planned draft type thing, and G2 knew what they were gonna do going into this. Like, and it's again back on my paper. Did FNATIC forget how Viego works in team fights? Question mark. Meaning like, there I used like again. Please, if you like me, please like my Twitter page and follow back. Please. And subscribe. YouTube. Anyways. Did FNATIC forget how Viego works in team fights? I've seen this many times where teams forget that he's got this ultimate that you just hit R on and they're dead and it gap closes. It's like people forget that about Viego. So that kind of that's all. And that's all I was trying to point out. Wasn't making that big of a deal about it. But they just forgot team fights that you can't be close with Viego because he can just R right on top of you.
Cover this, and now they know where he is. They know he's topside. Cap's really low. Q flash here from Sedge. Not gonna go for it.
What a risk. Cap's gonna.
Boy, Caps played that really well, didn't he? Because he was just like right on the edge of
really low.
Knowing where that. What is that? That would be Sejuani's W.
Flash here from Sedge. Not gonna go for it.
What a risk. Caps can of course reaction flash, a difficult thing to do, but. Taking more of Razork's.
So he's literally like right on that edge. Flash,
difficult. Not gonna go. Cap's really low. Q flash here from Sedge. Not gonna go for it.
Just barely.
Cap's can of course reaction flash, difficult thing to do, but.
Because when you're at that point, like where this gameplay, I think you're like seconds ahead. Like you're already thinking steps ahead of time of where the game is actually, when you're playing at this level, it feels really weird. It's like it's lagging. I'm probably not even supposed to be telling people this stuff. Like Riot would come in and slap me on the hand. But it feels like it's lagging when you're playing at that level.
Here from Sedge. Not going to go for it.
What a risk. Caps can, of course, reaction flash, a difficult thing to do, but...
I mean, how would I know? I've never been a pro player.
So he goes down, and he'll now spot the second Scuttle Crab being down. Red buff versus blue buff, but Yike level 4.
I think they can take this fight here in G2 if they want to. Razork has to be careful. Just has to queue out, I think.
Good queue to make it out.
This one I was kind of wondering why Yike followed him into this brush, because they don't have any vision on.
Good queue to make.
And it was like, well, maybe it was because Mickey X just had that queue. This one was kind of a head scratcher here to G2. Like, what's going on here? Like, why did he follow him into that brush? I mean, I guess you know Yumi's down there and Zeri's down there. I don't know. It's just weird because it's just kind of alarming about Yike right here, as I'm pointing out. G2 is. I'm not saying anything about Yike, but just how he kind of like followed this in. Please, Yike, don't follow enemies. Like, don't chase enemies into death, please, because you don't have any vision here, ward or anything.
Just has to queue out, I think.
Right here.
Good Q to make it out.
Jack's not done yet.
So you gotta face check.
Turning a bit more aggressively, but again,
Which again, nothing wrong, but that might be a bad habit that Yike needs to work on right here, because to me,
they can take this
to
fight.
me, I'm not
if they
saying
want to.
he's wrong.
Razor
I
has to be
kind of
careful.
feel like Yike, out of habit right here, automatically moved his character right here, because he's already making the movements ahead of time, right? So he's already clicking his character here and probably like tabbing and talking to Mickey X right here, right? And
Careful, just has to queue out, I think.
right here, because he almost dies.
Q to make it out.
Jack's not done yet.
Just turning a bit more aggressively, but again, red buff here is the big concern. Yike!
And so that cost him his flash. So that's the one thing I point out to G2 right there. And it's like, I'm not even making fun of, let me get my pen. I'm not even making fun of Yike. I'm just saying, like, that to me as a coach is one of these little details
Jack's not done yet.
to work
Razor
on.
has to be careful. Just has to queue out,
G2
I
and
think.
Yike, that this might be a bad habit
take
that
this fight
Yike
here
is
in G2 if
training,
they
that
want to.
we
Razor
need to
has
get
to
him
be
away
careful.
from.
Just has to
That
queue out,
do
I think.
not chase an enemy into darkness without any vision. I mean, maybe there's a ward down here I don't see or something, but I'm just saying this is a bad habit because to me it's where Yike clicked on his minimap there, and then he's like tabbing out, looking and like talking to Mickey X and Hansama, and the problem is it cost Yike his flash, which so this is like the one big mistake from Yike and G2 right here. And again, not Yike looks good to me, so very promising rookie. I'm just pointing out a rookie mistake.
Good Q to make it out.
Probably to misclick somewhere and thinking too far ahead, Yike. Right? Like you're got a little bit that again, I'm not making fun of you. This is, and fans out there, this is something at the highest level of this game you can't mess up on. That's what is all I'm saying. Like this little mistake.
Jack's not done yet.
Just turning a bit more aggressively, but again, red buff here is the big concern. Yike!
I don't know
Q to
what
make it
those
out.
World of
Jack's not done
Warcraft
yet.
raids are like, but in
Turning a bit more aggressively,
EverQuest, you'd be raiding with 70 people and you'd have an emote or a sound you have to type out or something. And if you miss it, like literally one person misses it out of the 70, the entire raid of 70 people die, like wipe, like in World of Warcraft. And then you have to resurrect your corpses and all that, spend an hour recovering just because of one person messing up one little thing. Now it's really difficult to do all of that.
But again, red buff here is the big concern. Yike! Getting a little bit over aggressive. They're forcing out the flash. Reckless coming over the wall. Rux now in the area. Has the shielding extra for Reckless. Mickey now locking Reckless down, buying a bit more space. Hansama low on mana, but the hook manages to land. First blood.
So were there any cooldowns that came down on that? On my paper, again, I'm trying to train the world how I'm being lazy in this VOD, which isn't good. But I gave you 3 hours of Sodaron next level for free. For free. I like the Riot model of things. I give you things for free. No strings attached. Take the skin. Free. Why did I make the skin, you ask? I don't know, it's free. You like it? I can make you another one. It'll even be fancier. Okay. Blue, FNATIC, start, blah, blah, blah. I need to go to the bathroom. Am I allowed? Can I take a bathroom break? Am I allowed to do that? I mean, I am working on my own watch, right? Hey, I got Pizza Ball 2. Hey, Pizza Ball 2. Hey, now. Are you still here? I'm going to go to the bathroom really quick. I got an app. Okay. Can you watch my chat for me, Pizza Ball 2, while I go pee real quick? Probably like a 5-minute break. I gotta pee and get a water. I'm an hour and 30 minutes into this show. I think we're actually like coming up with the next level tonight is what this has evolved into, because I don't know, but I was kind of throwing out last year of the next level with Sodaron was going to be my show. I thought I could have a show. Monte Cristo has a show, and Duncan has a show, and Dom even has a show. Dom of all people, right? Like, Dom, he has shows. Well, maybe I should make a show. Or like, hey now, like I like the Howard Stern show. Hey, I could have my own show. So I never really thought about it till last summer, and I thought it would be cool if somebody made a League of Legends show that took all of the regions and showed the like highlights of the best games or whatever, and made a 30-minute show that got the other regions into, like, say, LCS fans get to see the Shy make some crazy play with Gnar where he kills Rookie and Tien. Like, I've used that word so many times. Please like or subscribe my content every time I say the word like, please. Anyways, the show. It was a way for, like, there's like again. There's this play where the Shy outplays the Rookie and Tien, and he literally has a quarter health on Gnar and kills Tien and Rookie, and it's one of the most impossible things I've ever seen in my life, and it just shows how strong Gnar is. And he did it under his, like, at his own turret. It was like the craziest play I've ever seen in my life. And you show people that play, it like changes their life, right? Like, I show somebody that likes TSM, that thinks Maple's the greatest mid laner in the world, and I show them the Shy outplay the Rookie and Tien with Gnar and top lane, and then people go, oh, Rookie, yeah, he's the best mid laner in the world. So at the time, like, Rookie was the best mid laner in the world, so here was the Shy, and not only did he 1v1 Rookie, but he 1v2'd Rookie and Tien. So, like, there's that play right there that you could just show any fan in the LEC or the LCS, and they watch it, and they're going to instantly go, oh my god, I want to watch more LPL, or oh my god, I want to watch more LCK. So there's my 5 minutes of why I was going to do this, but so it's like, if somebody would make a show like that, it would get the other regions watching other regions, and it's just like a half-hour long show. Why a half hour? It just sounds like a good time to me, because I try to do like a half-hour show personally, and it turns into a 4-hour long thing every time. So that's not such a bad problem to have, I think, because I think most people's problems is they want a 4-hour show and they can only do 15 minutes. So, but I gotta pee. I'll be right back. Sorry, chat. This isn't very professional.